According to the developers, Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance is set to be the definitive version of the hit original game from 2021, and from what I can tell after having now played it, it does seem to majorly expand upon the original. Now, for those that have played the 2021 release, this will come as no surprise, but the original is one of the best reviewed JRPG dark fantasy creature collecting games of 2021, with 83 on Metacritic, 8 out of 10 on IGN, and 9 out of 10 on RPG Site. Well, thanks to Sega for sponsoring this video, we were able to play Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance and get an understanding of what it's all about, because this is a lot more than just the original game remastered. I personally am new to the Shin Megami Tensei series, and so getting to jump into this new version has been a really excellent starting point and transition into understanding why people really rave about how good this game series is, specifically Shin Megami Tensei 5. So if you want to check this out, we will have a link down below for you to click, and you should know that this new Vengeance version adds new additions such as an improved battle system, greater field exploration, new demons to capture, and an entirely new campaign route and more, making this a great entry point for new players, but also, from everything I can tell, a very enjoyable replay through for fans of the original due to the variety of new additions. So if you are new to Shin Megami Tensei 5, you might be wondering what it is and what this new Vengeance edition is. Well, if battling through the remains of a now decimated Tokyo wasteland, which is overrun by mythical demons, sounds like fun, then you're in the right place. Think of this as a JRPG creature, or more accurately, demon collecting, dark fantasy, almost dungeon crawling experience. It's set in a post-apocalyptic Tokyo, known as the Netherworld, and it's now overrun by demons. We're going to control the protagonist, which is a human bound to a proto-fiend, granting some awesome combat powers, as well as our party of demons, which are massively customizable, from capturing the different types of demons you encounter, to fusing them together and assign extra abilities between them, and even fully combining together demons to create entirely new and stronger versions. There's a thought-provoking but dark and complex narrative filled with strategic turn-based battles along the way against what is a pretty large array of demons to battle and collect. There's also a very large focus on the choices you make as you go through the story, which are going to impact things as you progress through and ultimately will decide the fate of humanity. So from the game's mythology, its challenging combat, and in my opinion, really enjoyable exploration, it seems to offer a rich and engaging experience while being a creature collecting game that actually stands out from the crowd. This new definitive version of Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance updates the base game with various different enhancements and entirely new content. Perhaps the most notable addition is the Canon of Vengeance new storyline that you can choose right at the beginning of the game that runs parallel to the original Canon of Creation story. The original story is centered around the eternal conflict between angels and demons, ultimately leading up to the fate of the world, while the new Canon of Vengeance story is about a tale of vengeance of the fallen, centered around new characters and an enigmatic cohort of demons that are plotting their own dark designs. As a creature collector, the variety of monsters is of course vital, and veterans will be happy to hear that the demon roster is also expanded to now include 274 with new mythological entities and various new additions to the gameplay, from tweaks to existing mechanics, to whole new exploration tools like the Megatsu Rail, which lets you stylishly travel across shortcuts to reach new areas, and to be honest, these shoes look like they were always made for this, right? Of course, there's also the improved visuals, which I always appreciate for the extra immersion, but you can also experience whole new areas like the Shinjuku Ward. This is releasing on the 14th of June 2024 for all platforms, which means PlayStation 4 and 5, Xbox Series and Xbox One, Windows PC, Steam, and Nintendo Switch. And now let's talk a bit about the world and exploration, because there's a bunch of really cool mechanics that I personally have been loving. Firstly, I would explain the world or maps that you'll travel through kind of like labyrinths or dungeons. They're large areas to explore with various offshoots of alternative pathways to gather some treasure, pick up a side quest, or find other useful items. You can run around freely in the world, but anytime you press up on the D-pad, you can enter the sky view. This is a 3D orbital satellite view of the area where you can zoom in or out of, and honestly, it's just a mechanic that I really enjoy to see the different sort of angles on the situation that you're in. And then, as we previously mentioned, you have the Megatsu Rails, and this lets you skate to reach new areas, adding a bit of extra spice to your traversal, and to use them, you want to look out for these icons on the map. But do watch out for punishing foes while you're exploring, and these are huge, powerful demons that are generally meant to be returned to later in the game. For example, I wanted to try and take on this giant golem very early on, and well, it was 40 levels higher than me. But luckily, any time while exploring, you can press the left D-pad button to save your game, so as long as you're on top of this, you should always be good. Now, when it comes to exploring, there are generally 4 types of goodies that I would recommend you keep an eye out for. The Me-Man are Gustavo's minions that he wants returning to him, and for each one you find, you will get some glory and additional items when you talk to Gustavo. The thing is, the glory will be a much needed resource to upgrade your character, so make sure to look out for these little red guys. Next is these giant golden treasure boxes which contain a variety of items and goodies. They look like this on the minimap, and you want to smash them as soon as you find them. And if you happen to find these smaller, white glowing treasure boxes, these give a massive amount of glory. So always look out for these, they're going to be very beneficial, and they have this icon on the minimap. Finally, we have this next icon on the minimap, which is where your currently selected escort demon will find something interesting for you if you go to them and then interact with them. I'll also say side quests seem to be generally worth your time to complete, and they don't usually take you too far away from the main story. So if you see one of these icons, you should probably go and do the side quest. But if you're wondering about the combat and the demon collecting, then let's go over some things to be aware of. This is a turn-based game, but there are a few twists and additional layers of strategy. Generally speaking, your team will get to take a turn and then the enemy's team will get to take a turn. However, things are actually more interesting than this because you have a thing called press turn icons. This will dictate how many actions you get during your turn. You get 1 action per party member during your turn, so filling up your party with demons early on is going to be of major benefit. You can have a maximum party size of 4, so you can battle with 4 demons at a time, and you'll get 4 actions per turn. The cool thing is, every time you crit strike or damage an enemy taking advantage of its weakness, you will gain an additional press icon, giving you even more actions within the same turn. As you encounter new types of demons, you will need to use attacks on them to find what they're weak to or resistant to, and once you've done enough of these, you'll be able to easily see what damage type to focus on or avoid, with the exclamation point being their weakness and the shield being their resistance. So when you take advantage of their elemental resistance, not only do you deal more damage, but you also get an extra action, and this is where the strategy really kicks in. But then you have my personal favorite thing about all of this. You can talk to the demons to engage them in conversation and try and persuade them to join you and become a permanent party member that you can level up and battle with. Each demon has a different personality, so you're going to need to choose your dialogue options wisely to keep them interested, otherwise they could get annoyed and attack you, and so combat will resume. Sometimes they might ask for items, for money, your HP or your MP until they're satisfied, and it's such a quirky and fun system compared to other creature collecting games. The demon collecting, progression, and power of your party is then linked together with 2 game mechanics that I absolutely love, called the Demon Haunt and the World of Shadows. Out in the world, you will find leyline founts. These are like checkpoints where you can save, recover, purchase items, and even fast travel between them. But after some progression, you will unlock more ways to utilize your demons, and you can do this at any leyline. The Demon Haunt is a place where your allies will gather, and you can talk to them here, as well as your Nahobino, which is a powerful proto-fiend that's been bound to you. In this space, you can unlock special conversations with your demons, which will give you items or even level them up as you defeat enemies, explore, and do quests. Then you have the World of Shadows. This is a place where you can fuse together demons to create entirely new and often more powerful ones to add into your party. This makes collecting each demon very meaningful because you can often fuse them later on, and personally I loved fusing together my own cat demon army that actually benefit and power up when other cat demons are in the team. On top of this, you can use the glory that you've gained from the previously mentioned collectibles to learn miracles, which are essentially permanent upgrades to your character, which can expand how many demons you can capture at a time, the total number of skills that you can actively use, and so on. And speaking of skills, it's good to know about essences too. These are essences of demons that can be used to learn their skills as well as change the affinities of your party. You can get these from treasure boxes, leveling up your demons, talking with demons, and even just buying them. This basically lets you learn the abilities and affinities of any other demon and allows you to apply them onto any of your party members. This makes the customization possibilities absolutely massive. For example, if you have a great magic caster but it doesn't have many different types of elemental damage, you can easily hunt for essences that have them and then fuse it onto that party member to learn those moves. So all in all, I'm actually really enjoying this one. So if you do want to check out Shin Megami Tensei 5 Vengeance, we have a link down below for you, and if you're a veteran of the OG game, do share any of the more powerful demons or extra tips below so we can all learn together as a community. Thank you for watching. I'm going to jump back in and start capturing some demons, and if you did enjoy this, drop a like down below.